Question 2 says given f of x equals 1 minus 3x squared and g of x equals x plus 2, compute f of g of x and g of f of x. It was given f of x equals 1 minus 3x squared and g of x is x plus 2. And what we're trying to find is f of g of x. So g of x is basically acting as the x here. So you would take f of x, which is 1 minus 3x squared, and g of x is acting as the x. So where it has x, you would put g of x. So you would put x plus 2. So that would be 1 minus 3 times x plus 2 squared. And then since this is squared, you would FOIL it. And that would be x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4, and then that will get you x squared plus 4x plus 4, and you put that in for here, and then you would distribute the 3 onto each of these, and that'll get you 1 minus 3x squared minus 12x minus 4, and it'll get you to your final answer. When you combine like terms, it'll get you to your final answer of negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 3.
We had to take, we used f of x and g of x and put it in g of f of x and then simplified it. So we took f, which is 1 subtract 3x squared, and put it inside of g, which is x add 2. And from there, I took away the parentheses, and then it became 1 subtract 3x squared add 2. And then the only step left was to combine like terms, so 1 and 2, so 1 and 2 is 3, and then the final answer is negative 3x squared plus 3.
Question 3 says determine whether the two functions g of x and f of x are or are not inverse functions. Let f of x equal 4x plus 1 and g of x equal x squared plus 2. F of x equals 4x plus 1, and you're going to try to find the inverse of that. So f of x is basically y, so then that'd be y equals 4x plus 1. And then to do the inverse, you do the opposite. So anywhere you see a y, you'll put an x, and anywhere you see an x, you put a y. So that would be x equals 4y plus 1. And then you're going to try to get y by itself. So you would subtract 1 on both sides, so then that cancels out, and it would be x minus 1 equals 4y, and then you just divide it by 4 on both sides, and then that'll get you the inverse would be x minus 1 over 4.
G of x, which is x squared plus 2. To find the inverse, you first can turn g of x to y, and then to solve for the inverse, you would switch x and y. Then you can subtract 2 from both sides, and then you would have x minus 2 equals y squared. Then you would just find the square root of x minus 2 and y, which would leave you with the plus or minus the square root of x minus 2 equals y. That gives you the inverse of g of x. This shows you that the inverse of f of x, which is x minus 1 over 4, is not the inverse of g of x.